Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton and you're watching BCAM TV. Now we'll be getting into our latest stories from the week. Since the onset of the war with Iran, approximately 140 U.S. service members have been wounded, with most injuries deemed minor, according to the Pentagon spokesman Sean Parnell, who confirmed that 8 of these injuries were severe, while 108 service members have already returned to duty. The update follows retaliatory strikes from Iran, which resulted in the deaths of 7 soldiers in Kuwait and Saudi Arabia. The conflict has seen both sides intensifying their rhetoric. President Donald Trump threatened to retaliate 20 times harder if Iran disrupts oil flow through the Strait of Hormuz. Meanwhile, U.S. Secretary of War Pete Hegseth announced plans for intensified strikes inside Iran, targeting military and industrial bases. The conflict has included missile and drone attacks, as well as strikes on energy infrastructure. Iran has also targeted traffic through the Strait of Hormuz, a key route of global oil trade, causing oil prices to rise. The U.S. military says it has hit more than 5,000 targets as part of its response. Global energy leaders are taking emergency action as oil prices surge during the conflict with Iran. The International Energy Agency announced that its member countries have agreed to release 400 million barrels of oil from their strategic reserves to help stabilize the global market. Officials say the move comes as the Strait of Hormuz, a critical shipping route for global oil supplies, has largely been shut down during the conflict. About 20 million barrels of oil normally pass through the strait each day. Since the fighting began, U.S. crude oil prices have jumped more than 25%, and the national average price for gasoline has climbed to about $3.57 per gallon. While the release is the largest emergency action ever coordinated by the agency, analysts say it may take time before the oil reaches the market and begins lowering prices. Russia is sharing information with Iran about the locations of U.S. military forces in the Middle East that Tehran could be using to help guide its missile attacks in the region, according to U.S. officials and a former Russian intelligence officer, in the strongest indication yet of cooperation between the two nations during the Iran conflict. The types of information being shared include the coordinates of U.S. military ships and aircraft, according to the officials. With the majority of Russia's forces tied up in a war in Ukraine, Moscow is unable to provide direct military aid to Iran. President Vladimir Putin has also been very cautious about angering President Trump, while the prospects of normalizing relations with the U.S. if it can reach a peace deal with Ukraine exist. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, in an interview with 60 Minutes, didn't directly confirm Russia was sharing targeting information with Iran, but he said, "We're tracking everything. Our commanders are aware of everything. No one's putting us in danger." End quote. Airports across the United States are experiencing long security lines due to staffing shortages at the TSA amid an ongoing partial government shutdown. Travelers have faced wait times of up to 3 hours, affecting major airports during the busy spring break travel period. The partial government shutdown, resulting from a funding dispute in Congress, has led to a shortage of TSA workers. The Department of Homeland Security, which oversees the TSA, noted that the shutdown has caused significant delays at airports nationwide. On Sunday, March 8th, nearly 2.8 million travelers passed through TSA checkpoints, marking the busiest day since January 4th. The shutdown began in mid-February due to disagreements over federal immigration reform. When the Irish visit the White House each year, they traditionally bring a bowl of shamrocks. This year, they are bringing $6.1 billion in planned investments. Michael Martin, Ireland's Prime Minister, is planning to talk about investing billions in the U.S. as part of an annual St. Patrick's Day visit on March 17th, making him the latest world leader to combine a visit to the Oval Office with promises of spending billions to bring jobs to the U.S. and boost manufacturing. Irish investments in the U.S. include $5 billion over 5 years from sustainable paper-based packaging company Smurfit Westrock, $1 billion from Kingspan, an insulation and building solutions company, and $100 million from nutrition company Glanbia. Irish companies are also planning to announce next week that they are ramping up investments to support Amazon and other U.S. data center operators, making high-tech construction Ireland's largest export sector outside of food. Thanks for watching Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more after the break.
I'm Mayor Erin Joyce, and I'd like to tell you about some important projects we're working on here in Braintree to improve the quality of our local water bodies and to protect our town from the dangers of flooding and stormwater runoff. Stormwater runoff is the water generated from rain and snowmelt that flows over hard surfaces and does not soak into the ground. Stormwater runs through a system of pipes in the street and into our local water bodies, such as the Cochado River, Farm River, Manatequit River, and Sunset Lake. In Braintree, we have a separate sewer system. So what does that mean? That means that there are actually two separate pipes in most streets that carry stormwater and sanitary sewer separately. So when it rains and water washes into our catch basin system, it ties into the stormwater system, which transports water to our water bodies. Over the past 5 years, the town of Braintree has been working hard to maintain and improve our stormwater drainage systems. Now, we're constructing retrofits to the drainage system. These drainage retrofits use the natural process of infiltration to improve water quality and reduce potential flooding in our neighborhoods. At Penniman Park Elder Affairs, we're constructing a bioretention basin behind the building. What that is right before the water, which today runs piped to the Manatequit River. This project intercepts that pipe before it goes and discharges into the river. And it creates a place for the water to go first, which is the bioretention basin. And in that basin, plants and engineered soils will filter the water so that that water that's coming off of the neighborhood right now, unfiltered, untreated, will be collected into a rain garden, and that provides a lot of pollution control before the water ultimately makes it to the Manatequit River.
I'm Rachel Horak. I live here in Braintree, and I'm the president of Sustainable Braintree. We think of ways that we can help our residents of Braintree live healthier lives that are in better harmony with our planet. And we want to be sure that our waterways are clean so that our residents can enjoy them both for recreation and for beauty purposes. The bioretention basin will filter out the bad bacteria out of the stormwater before it hits the Manatequit River. We add native plants that help filter out the pollutants so that the water is a little bit cleaner. Some of the ways that residents can help are reduce the amount of fertilizers that you use on your lawn, picking up pet waste, reducing the amount of garbage in our streets, and also raking the catch basins that you might see on the roadways.
To pay for these projects, we're leveraging grants from the Mass DEP, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, and the Metropolitan Area Planning Council. As a Braintree resident, you should know that the town is actively working on projects that help improve the water quality in our water bodies. With your help and these projects, we will help filter pollution and keep Braintree's rivers, lakes, and streams beautiful for years to come.
Welcome back to Braintree Today. I'm Sarah Hamilton. Now we'll be getting into more stories. The town of Braintree is inviting artists to help add new public art to the town hall. Town officials have issued a call for artists to design and paint murals on the roadway in front of town hall and on the ADA ramp leading to the entrance. The goal is to highlight the area while celebrating Braintree's history and expanding the town's growing public art presence. Artists with experience creating public murals are encouraged to apply. The selected artist or artists will receive up to $9,000 in grant funding, including support from the Massachusetts Cultural Council and the town of Braintree. The town says the murals should reflect Braintree's history while helping create a more vibrant and welcoming environment for residents and visitors. Applications must be submitted by March 31st, 2026. Selected artists will enter into a grant agreement with the town, and the project must be completed by June 30th, 2026. Proposals can be submitted by email to the Braintree Mayor's office or delivered in person at Town Hall. A local animal rescue is inviting the community to help support cats in need. The Neponset Valley Humane Society will host its annual Cat-Tillion fundraiser on Friday, April 11th in Braintree. The dinner and dance event raises money to help care for rescued cats throughout the Neponset Valley. The organization operates without a physical shelter, relying instead on volunteer foster homes to care for animals until they are adopted. Organizers say the fundraiser helps cover medical care, food, and supplies for cats waiting for permanent homes. The event will take place at the Sons of Italy Lodge and will include dinner, live music from the Reminiscence, raffles, and other activities. Tickets and more information are available on the Neponset Valley Humane Society website. The Braintree Veterans Service Center has announced that the Veterans Pantry is back up and running. The pantry is now accepting donations of new clothing, toiletries, and non-perishable food items, all of which go directly towards supporting local veterans in need. The pantry serves veterans in Braintree, Holbrook, and Avon. Donations can be dropped off at the Veterans Service Center located at 74 Pond Street in Braintree. Town officials say the reopening of the pantry ensures veterans continue to have access to essential resources and support within the community. They may be cute and cuddly, but therapy dogs perform sometimes life-saving missions, and now a firefighter is trying to bring canine help to first responders in Braintree and beyond. Andrew Leanweaver has launched a crowdsourcing campaign to pay for the fire department's adoption and training of a therapy dog named Hallie Halligan. Leanweaver, a 20-year-plus veteran of the department, hopes to harness Hallie in a program of free support for emergency responders. In a GoFundMe organized by Leanweaver, he wrote, "This dog will serve as a resource for all first responders and public servants in Braintree and the surrounding communities." The fire department is supporting the therapy dog program, but all training and ongoing care will be funded exclusively through donations. The independent effort has set a goal of raising $7,000 and currently has surpassed the halfway mark. Here's a look at what's happening around Braintree. At their public library on Saturday, March 14th, the Genealogy Club is meeting in the Logan Auditorium at 10 a.m. for folks interested in tracing their family history. Later in the day at 3 p.m., the English Conversation Circle will meet in the upper level in Conference Room A for people learning to speak English and who want to practice with others. To register or for more information, visit the library's website at theirpubliclibrary.libcal.com. The Braintree Recreation Department is offering a Central Rock Gym climbing clinic now through March 25th. In addition, Super Soccer Stars is hosting youth soccer sessions now through March 28th at the Liberty Elementary School gym, focusing on skill building and teamwork in a fun, supportive environment. For more information, call the Recreation Department at 781-794-8900. And that's your weekly snapshot. Thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll be right back with more stories in the area. But first, here's a look at events happening this month at the Braintree Senior Center, located at 71 Cleveland Ave in Braintree. The Braintree Senior Center has a full lineup of activities and programs this March for residents aged 60 and older. From weekly social gatherings to special events and educational programs, there are plenty of opportunities for seniors in the community to stay active and connected. The center also offers a variety of weekly activities. Fitness classes are available daily. On Mondays, residents can attend Bocce Coffee Hour at 9:30, the Walking Group at 10, Men's Coffee Hour at 11, and Pool Players at noon. Tuesdays feature game days from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. On Wednesdays, the Asian Outreach Group meets at 11, followed by GEMS exercise at 1. Thursdays include quilting at 11:30, pool lessons at 12:30, and knitting at 1 p.m. And on Fridays, pool players meet at noon and movies are shown at 12:30. Several special events are also scheduled throughout the month. Upcoming events include a St. Patrick's Day celebration with an Irish band on March 13th and a chat with Senator Keenan on March 16th. The center will also host a St. Patrick's Day boiled dinner on March 17th, along with a spa day, book club meeting, and technology class on March 20th. Later in the month, residents can attend a fraud prevention presentation from South Shore Bank on March 25th, a craft class on March 30th, and the Just Lunch program and Alzheimer's support group on March 31st. For more information or to sign up for any of these programs, residents are encouraged to contact the Braintree Senior Center directly. The center is located at 71 Cleveland Avenue in Braintree and can be reached by phone at 781-848-1963. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now let's get right into more stories. A Cohasset man is facing animal cruelty and firearm charges after police say he shot and killed a family pet. 59-year-old Christopher Lucas was arrested Monday, March 9th by Cohasset detectives following an investigation into the August 16th shooting. Investigators said Lucas was hunting coyotes from a window in a room over the garage of his home. Police say it was then that Lucas shot his wife's 14-year-old pet dog, Lise, in the head while the dog was standing in the driveway. As a result of the investigation into Lucas, after his wife called police months later, police suspended his license to carry firearms, and multiple firearms were seized from the home. In addition to animal cruelty, Lucas was charged with discharging a firearm within 500 feet of a dwelling, hunting without a license, and hunting out of season. Lucas was arraigned Tuesday, March 10th in Quincy District Court. The judge ordered him to have no contact with his wife or any family animals. The judge in Sandra Birchmore's murder trial denied a motion on Monday filed by former Stoughton police officer Matthew Farwell and his defense team to have the case dismissed. Farwell's attorney filed the motion last Thursday in federal court in South Boston. His defense argued the indictment failed to explain a federal offense and lacked specificity to support the charges. Farwell is accused of strangling and killing 23-year-old Sandra Birchmore, who was pregnant at the time, in her Canton apartment in 2021. Federal prosecutors argue he then staged her death to make it look like she committed suicide. He was arrested in August 2024 and later indicted in the death of Birchmore's unborn baby. Authorities said Farwell began a sexual relationship with Birchmore when she was 15 years old and a student in his class for young people interested in law enforcement careers. Governor Maura Healey is calling for refunds for Massachusetts households after federal tariffs were ruled illegal. In a letter sent Tuesday to Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent, Healey said residents should be reimbursed for higher costs caused by the tariffs. She estimates each household paid about $1,745 between February 2025 and January 2026. Based on data from the U.S. Congress Joint Economic Committee, Healey says that adds up to nearly $4.8 billion for Massachusetts consumers. The governor says the tariffs raise costs for families and small businesses across the state. Her request comes just weeks after the Supreme Court ruled President Trump's emergency tariffs were illegal. A deal has been reached to get the town of Foxborough, Massachusetts, the security funding it needs to host the World Cup at Gillette Stadium in June. The town had previously threatened to cancel the 7 matches if it didn't get $7.8 million for security. Foxborough says it needs the money to pay for equipment, police, and firefighters across the 39 days in which World Cup events will be held at Gillette, called Boston Stadium for the tournament. On Wednesday, Kraft Sports, Foxborough, and Boston Soccer 2026 released a joint statement saying the town will not incur any costs. This clears the way for the event license for the games to be approved at the March 17th Foxborough Select Board meeting. The first match is on June 13th, and over 3 million people are expected to visit the Boston area this summer for the tournament. People walking along Commonwealth Avenue near Boston University may notice an unusual sight this spring: a phone inside a bright yellow box that reads "Call a Boomer." The project was created by the biotech company Matter Neuroscience. One phone is located outside Pavement Coffee House at 736 Commonwealth Avenue in Brookline. The other phone is inside Sierra Manor, an affordable housing building for seniors in Reno, Nevada. Anyone can pick up the phone and be connected with someone on the other end of the country. If no one answers, users can leave a voicemail. The goal of the project is to encourage conversations between younger and older generations, 2 age groups that research show often experience high levels of loneliness. The phone was installed last weekend and is expected to remain at the location for about a month while organizers measure public interest. Thank you for tuning into Braintree Today. We'll be right back with more in entertainment. The Massachusetts Breast Cancer Coalition is hosting its annual Against the Tide Swim, Run, and Walk fundraiser to support breast cancer prevention. The event brings together participants of all ages to raise awareness and funds through fitness and community participation. 2 in-person events are scheduled this summer. The first will take place Saturday, June 20th at Hopkinton State Park in Hopkinton. The second event will be held Saturday, June 27th at Nickerson State Park in Brewster on Cape Cod. Participants can also choose a virtual option anytime between June 20th and June 27th. Participants can take part in a variety of activities depending on their interests and ability level. Events include a USATF certified 5 and 10 kilometer runs, a 1-mile competitive swim, half-mile and 1-mile recreational swims, and a 3-mile fitness walk. Registration for the event is open now. For more information or to sign up, visit mbcc.org/againstthetide. Welcome back to Braintree Today. Now here's some new movies and shows that have been creating some social buzz. First, Reminders of Him follows Kenna, who makes an unbearable mistake that sends her to prison for 7 years. Hoping to rebuild her life after her release, she tries to reunite with her daughter, but her custodial grandparents refuse to let Kenna see her. She soon finds unexpected compassion from a local bar owner, as their secret romance gives Kenna hope for a second chance. The film stars Maika Monroe and Tyreek Withers. You can watch Reminders of Him now in theaters. Up next, Protector follows Nikki, a former war hero whose life gets shattered when her daughter is kidnapped by sex traffickers. Thrust into a criminal underworld while also being hunted by police and the military, she fights by any means possible to rescue her child. The film stars Mila Jovovich and D.B. Sweeney. You can watch Protector now in theaters. Finally, Undertone follows a paranormal podcast host caring for her dying mother. When she and her co-host analyzed 10 mysterious audio files about a haunted pregnant couple, the events begin to mirror her own life, which pushes her into madness. The film stars Nina Kiri and Adam DeMarco. You can watch Undertone now in theaters. That'll do it for news today. Don't forget, Verizon customers can watch BCAM TV in high definition on channel 2128 and Comcast on channel 1073. I'm Sarah Hamilton, and thank you for watching Braintree Today on BCAM TV. We'll see you next time.